What are the challenges? And there are a lot of companies that certainly have tried to grow their business in the region and encounter difficulties. What are the challenges you see?
Africa is an emerging market. Emerging markets will always bring challenges with it. And as Lonrho, our whole approach to an emerging market is to diversify and spread that risk as much as possible. So we've very specifically formatted the company that we operate in 17 countries, which means if there's a hiccup in one country, you've still got 17 countries that are thriving. It's getting better. It's a challenge. Emerging markets are a challenge. But I think Africa suffers from a poor self-esteem and a poor public image. The reality is, on the ground, there's really good economic process and progress going on. And you have countries like Angola and Mozambique that really have thriving economies. And if you focus, from our perspective as Lonrho, we focus on three core sectors, which is we look at the mineral industry, the agricultural industry, and the oil industry. And if you follow those three sectors, you're really in markets that are growing very strongly.
Let's talk about agriculture. Certainly, there are so many concerns about food scarcity, food security. We've seen a lot of commodities spiking up because of some of the issues we've had. Do you believe that, what's the growth potential for that industry? I mean, some people say Africa is the continent that's going to feed the world. Do you see that?
I think the saying everybody uses is Africa will become the breadbasket of the world, and I think that's true. If you look at any of the macroeconomic research that's being done by the like of McKinsey and Boston Consulting nowadays, Africa has got lots of vacant land, it's got a huge workforce, more importantly it's got the right heat units, the right temperature and the right water to really become a massive producer. Now Africa's got 1 billion people to feed itself, but it clearly has the commercial potential to be a large net exporter of produce to the world.
What about those tensions? There is concern that you will see companies move in, develop the agribusiness, but for export only. Can both be done? Can the industry be developed to feed Africans as well as export and feed the rest of the world?
I think if you approach the agricultural model properly and responsibly, you can handle both those issues. I mean, by exporting agricultural produce, Africa is building a big export business, which is good for all the economy. It creates employment and it creates wealth. At the same time, you can feed an element of your production into local markets.
You mentioned airlines. It is an area where you're also expanding. Airlines is a tough business, as we've seen. I mean, we see, well-established carriers across the rest of the world merging or folding because of the difficulties of running a profitable airline business. Why would you concentrate on that area?
There is a massive niche market potential in Africa. Currently, you cannot get around Africa. There is no good quality domestic service, ICAO registered, so it's internationally signed off from a health and safety and operational perspective that really connects Africa. And the niche market that we saw that was there, and I think is part of the growth of Africa, which is really the ethos of what Lonrho does, is about moving people across the continent, east to west and north to south. Currently, if I fly into West Africa, I fly back to Europe to fly down to East Africa again. I mean,
it's not efficient, is it?
It's absolutely insane. Yeah. You've got 1 billion people, you've got a growing economy, people are more affluent, there's more demand for travel.